Hi guys, welcome to Nerd Bites, and this is going to be my spoiler review for Stranger Things Season 1. Yes, of course there will be spoilers, but I'm putting to the back end of my review. I'm going to give my first thoughts and I'll let you know when I'm going to spoiler territory. Yes, I apologise for this review being stupidly late, because Season 1 has been up on Netflix for a while now, and I just haven't got round to watching it. I've been watching loads of other things and doing other things. I've had a lot of important shit going on the last few months, and I'll finally be able to sit down and watch it. And I'll be honest, it is a really well put together series, and it's one of Netflix's stronger series that they've done, and it just caters to the whole 80s kind of cult following kind of thing, with all the like films and books and this kind of stuff. It's definitely a kind of Stephen King, Steven Spielberg kind of feel to it, really. Just the aesthetic, even the camera shots and the music, even, it's so 80s. And that really hits nostalgia for us kids, especially as like the 90 kids as well. It carries over into that, and I just feel like you get so much nostalgia from like Star Wars and Dungeons and Dragons and E.T. You have that kind of feel like it's from E.T. I even get this feeling like it's from the Warriors, the movie Warriors. You get that kind of feel like it's that as well. You get so many different feels of different movies and books, like Lord of the Rings as well. They mentioned that a few times, and it just really encapsulates that kind of nostalgia, and just the way that this series was put together was really well done. Acting wise, these kids are amazing, really cool kids. Winona Ryder playing the mother as well, again, awesome. She's really kind of giving me hope for her, because it's been a while since she's really done anything. And I watched this and I think, well, she's got some real chops now. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what else she can do. Without getting into too many spoilers, of course, Stranger Things is basically about a boy that goes missing. It's something to do with government and hiding things and trying to basically find this boy. The mum goes a bit crazy, the kids try to find it, and then they run into this kind of experiment little girl called 11, or L for short, and the little girl that acts her, god damn, she is awesome. She doesn't really say much, but every time she's there, you're intrigued, you're invested in that character, as well as the rest of them. I mean, I have to say, Dustin's definitely my favourite. The little kid with the cat, probably why I'm wearing this. He's awesome. He's such a cool dude. He's what I would think I would be, or most of my friends would be if they were in that situation. We'd be that dude, because he's just such a cool little character. Character of Hopper as well, the police officer. Can't remember the actor's name, but awesome, really cool character. And I felt like his story kind of built and really, you know, embellished and opened up as the series went on. It was really well put together, his arc, and he's one of my favourite characters. I think he's probably my second favourite character. Yeah, the music as well, it's so 80s, it's so awesome. The intro as well is just obviously the title kind of coming together, but the music over the top just works so beautifully. It's so 80s, it works awesomely. And then the whole score throughout the entire season it just sits so well in that 80s vibe. It's just this suburban America kind of thing, and everything they put in there just works. Okay, I'm going into my spoiler territory now, so if you haven't seen the series, make sure you check it out first. This is now my spoiler part of my review. You've been warned. 11, she's such a cool character. She's been experimented on, and she was apparently, her mum she was miscarried, but she gave birth anyway, and the government took her away and they experimented on her, and she's got like superpowers. She's got telekinesis and everything. She can move things with her mind. Every time she uses her powers, in which she bleeds out of her nose or whatever, she can kill people. Some of the things she killed, this was like breaking their neck and everything and making them bleed out their eyes. It was awesome. She's such a badass character, but so kind of, you know, dark and everything. She's so kind of, she doesn't really speak much because of all the trauma she's been through, but then when it comes to the crunch time, she's a badass character, and I love everything about her. She's just a really cool, solid character. And you know, obviously we know what happens at the end. She attacks one of those monsters and she dissipates and disappears, and then they kind of leave it open with the Eggos, because she's really obsessed with the food Eggos, and then they kind of leave it open that Hopper leaves it in their thing, so maybe she's in the underworld. The underworld idea, brilliant. I mean, it was so cool. The great thing about this series is that it doesn't give anything away too early. It takes at least 4 to 5 episodes to really start to figure out what is going on and what all these monsters are and how these people are disappearing. And it's this underworld. It's basically the opposite side of the coin. It's like you're on the upworld and this is the underworld. This is basically the reverse, the dark side of the moon kind of thing. It's your world, but derelict, destructive, and all these kind of monsters in it. And it's really creepy. The way they build it up is quite creepy. Now, I'm not a fan of being jumped, I don't like it, but it just, the tension when you feel like something's going to happen, they really build that well. One thing I would say about this as well, funny. They got some really funny moments, most of them from the kids and like Dustin and that, and yeah, but in really funny moments, especially the moment when they're dropping the Millennium Falcon, they're trying to get to levitate it, and the 3 times it drops on the floor, and my heart breaks every time because they don't understand how much that Millennium Falcon is worth, and it hurts me as a Star Wars fan. But it was a funny moment, and again, there's plenty of funny moments in this series. The character of Jonathan as well, the little kid, Will, his big brother, the kind of outcast, he was a cool character, developed really well over the series. I really enjoyed him as well. When him and the girl, I can't remember her bloody name now, Nancy, is it? I think Nancy. They discover another portal to get into this underworld because the main portal is inside this government place and they're keeping it locked down, of course, but they find other ones to get in there, like within trees, or they could be anywhere really, if you think about it. Yeah, they're just, I really like that scene. You think, oh fuck, she's stuck there, but they managed to get her out. Finale as well, the final episode, where you've got Hopper and the mum going into the underworld. They make a deal and they get into the underworld to go and find Will, and at the same time you've got Jonathan and Nancy and her kind of ex-boyfriend guy taking on the monster in the real world. And it was really just the way they built it together, and at one point they're actually in the same place at the same time, but obviously they can't tell because of the underworld. It's a crossover, and Jonathan can hear his mum and his mum can hear him. It's really just brilliantly put together. It just kind of really just works. It's so cool, and it's just like it opens up so many opportunities and questions and stuff like that of what can possibly happen in the next few seasons. Of course, they find Will, and he's got this thing all the way down his throat. The monster or whatever has captured him, and they pull it out and they're working on him. And then the way they kind of build Hopper's backstory into this, him losing his daughter in the past and trying to work on him to make sure he survives and comes back to life. And again, the way they angle these shots, the way they shoot this, the way they build this, it's just been done with absolute perfection. I think it's just a fun series to watch. Of course, obviously, Elle bites the dust, or so we seem, and she destroys the beast and whatnot. And then you've got all these kind of the kids and everything. And then Will, at the end, he coughs something up, and then he kind of goes into the underworld for a minor moment. That is just like, wow, what's going to happen there in the next season? And then you've got Hopper obviously leaving the food down for potentially Elle. I think she's probably in the underworld or something like that. I reckon so. It seems like they left it open to mean that she's not dead. I've seen a few people like saying that the only complaint that they've got is that there's so many unanswered questions and everything, and that you just don't get answers to things even at the end of the series. Now, I can understand the point, but I'm not counting that as a bad thing, because to be honest, you're going to have another season. These questions are going to be answered eventually. You've got to have some things left open, and you speculate for God knows how long, like we do with all TVs and movies, to see what is going to happen. I like that kind of not knowing and trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and then you find out the next season. I think it's good character building. I think it's good story building, to be honest. Overall, guys, I think this season just really catered to my nostalgia of all that kind of the movies and TV type thing. It had this really cool feel, loads of different films and books and stuff that I really enjoy. The characters were awesome, the story worked really well. I can't wait for the next season, and I honestly think that it is one of the best seasons out there at the moment, and you should definitely watch it if you've got Netflix, and I think it's fair to give it 4 stars. That's what I thought of Stranger Things Season 1. What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments or send me an email. You can also find me on the various social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, moviepilot.com. Just type in Nerd Bites anywhere and I'm sure you'll find me. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share my videos. And of course, keep it nerdy.